pro-vax, and I was so eager to get vaccinated. And
the doctors tried to tell me that this was causing my stress and depression, which I know I do not have, and I still don't have.
My beautiful girl, she worried about how it would affect me and didn't want to tell me what she was going through. So for a week, I didn't know the full extent of it for a week.
We're just people who are hurt, you know? We're just hurt. And we just want help. We're not asking for anything else. We just want help and to be heard and make things aware for others so this doesn't happen to anyone else.
It's time to stop and realize this is happening and we need help. There are still good doctors out there, but they lost their jobs and losing their jobs. They don't deserve that. They deserve to be there helping others. Bye-bye.
Casey Hodgkinson, it's so beautiful to see you. I can't believe it was November when we did that first interview, and that has gone around the world. It's incredible how many people have contacted me from other countries. I even saw last night a piece fully translated into Spanish. But what hit me was it's really well known around the world, and still in New Zealand, mainstream media and this government have not acknowledged your jab injury. Can you tell me, Casey, first of all, how that feels not to have been acknowledged by this government for doing what they wanted in getting this injury?
Well, it's not just me that I'm thinking about right now. It's so many people. I'm feeling hurt, not just for myself, but for them. I just can't believe it, that we're still fighting. It's been over a half year now for me, and for some even longer than that. Sorry. And it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Have you been offered any payment or any support in any way from this government for your jab injury?
Working income, but the folly in that is if you have a partner, they consider their payment enough for two people in a world where rates are continuously going up. Gas prices are going up, groceries are going up. What he's getting a week is not enough for two people.
But I don't understand. You should be having a nurse. You should be having somebody with you every day.
Yeah.
When he goes off to work, do you have the government paying somebody to help you get around when you are this disabled?
It took a while, like months, but I got my best friend who's been helping me through this day by day. She's been amazing. She was doing it before any compensation, anything, for like a while. She, bless her for all the things she's had to deal with me. She's been like, I don't even have the words for how much she's done for me with that. It took us a while with working income to get her anything. They eventually did, but it's hard because she has to drive to me, you know, Monday to Friday during the time that Stefan's working. And, you know, it's hard for her what she's getting as well from them to pay for her rent, to pay for gas, to pay for everything. I don't think the government gets how hard it is for us down here. yes, down here, because we know that you're up there. We can see you.
Yeah. Well, they think they're up there. It's the reverse, really.
Well, should be.
Absolutely. The way they've behaved, there is no up for them, not in the long term. But what I said, when I said I don't understand, I just cannot imagine a government that had no protocols in place to say, okay, we're forcing you all via mandates to get these jabs to keep your jobs. But if there's any adverse reaction, we've got a number of steps in place. And the first thing is, if you're badly injured, as you've been, Casey, we will have someone in place, we'll have generous income, we'll make sure you're not stressed. Are you and Stefan stressed about money most days?
Yes. Yes. Who isn't these days? You see it everywhere in this country.
But you are jab injured. You took this job. You took this jab to keep your job. Yeah. And you have struggled. So I understand from your mum, you've had to go along and basically beg for an income.
Yeah, we've had to claw our way through to show that, something's happened to me. I'm still not better, and things have eased, but they're not better.
But minimally. What about ACC, Casey?
I'm fighting them right now because I got a good ACC advocate right now who's with me. She's beautiful. She's really helping. She says, you have a good case. You have all the evidence there that you've been injured by a vaccine. But the reason that the ACC denied me twice, is it twice? Gosh. Is because of a lie. Because of stuff.com. I don't even know their full name because I don't like thinking about them, honestly. I don't read their stuff anymore because they did me dirty.
What did they do, Casey?
They said that I had all this previous before the vaccine.
Oh my God. Do you remember the name of the journalist?
Oh.
I never read stuff. Stuff was sold to the woman who's got it now for $1. And I understand she's a very good friend of Jacinda Ardern's. Stuff is absolutely stuffed up journalism in my book. It is shameful. And they did that to you. They put out a lie.
They used a doctor that didn't even come to see me or look into me as the doctor to say this isn't true. They didn't even come to see me. They didn't look at my records. They didn't look into my history. They just put a thing out to get a quick buck. And I never thought I would understand how it felt to have lies about you and your character and everything in your life that's happening to you put out there publicly like that. I never experienced that before that. And I really thought for all those people who have experienced that in the past or are experiencing that now, and I know a lot of people have and are, it hurts. You know who you are, you know your truth, and you're being slandered as something you're not. And I turn and I say, I look at other old stories that I once upon I would have gone like, or isn't that? And now I'm thinking, maybe it isn't. How many lies have they told about people?
In mainstream media in New Zealand?
In everywhere.
Look at the lies about the people in the village. But I did not realise you'd gone through that as well. And you are so seriously jab injured. And do you mean that article came out since our talk? Or was it before our talk?
It's quite a while ago now.
But it doesn't matter. They know that you're jab injured and they put their boot in. What a shameful, shameful, shameful organisation.
They didn't let me have my time to talk before they put it out there. Now people online are using that against me continuously. And I know it's a lie. And it's like, why are you bringing up this thing that's got no proof towards it? And I've had to say it in a kindness, like, I appreciate that you're trying to figure out things for yourself right now, but you got to understand that one source doesn't mean that's exactly what happened.
My God, Casey, so how many trolls do you think you've had? A lot.
Yeah, around 100, maybe more.
Oh,
Yeah, I deal with hate daily. And, you know, people do when they put themselves out there. I understand that now. And, you know, it hurts. Like, it does hurt. But I've kind of had to come to a point where I'm like, they're just people. You know, they're not in my life. They're not, you know, a big character in my life that's going to be there continuously haunting me. It's someone that obviously they're dealing with their own issues. They're dealing with their own worries and their own concerns, and they're dealing with things that they obviously believe is true, but they don't have enough information to prove it. But, you know, whatever works for them. But in the end, all I can say is that's not true. I am telling you what's happened to me. This is my experience. And everything I've put out there is my experience and what I'm trying to figure out for myself and with others. It's not to say this is facts. It's saying this is what's happened. And that's what people aren't getting. They're like, these aren't facts. Look at what the main media is saying. Look at what the health system's saying. But it's like, those people are only human too. You know, that's such a big thing that me and my partner have learned through all this. Like, yes, people have titles. There's specialists, there's doctors, there's politicians who have all these high titles. But they're still human. And they can make mistakes. Why can't we see that? Just because they have a title doesn't mean they can't make mistakes. And they've made a big one, very big one. And they need to recognize that. They need to admit they've done wrong so we can continue to grow as humans and continue to be there for one another in a community that is stronger for it, not weakened by fear that they continuously, like I told you, this is a politician's playground we're living in right now.
what do you mean by that? That's a very powerful statement.
So we're all playing on a playground full of politicians that use this playground to cater to people, but they'll use certain things to play on, which is fear, which is misinformation, which is whatever they feel is right, they'll bring onto the playground, and that's what we can use and play on. Nothing else.
And I include mainstream media in there. All they do day after day is play on fear. And of course, everybody in New Zealand now knows that mainstream media is being paid by the government.
Agreed.
So they are looked at as the government mouthpiece.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why else are they, you know, not looking into things? It's not about them not doing it because they think there's nothing there. It's them not doing it because they want to keep their job. I think that's been a big thing that we need to realize here. This is why I took the vaccine, to keep my job. So here I understand what their minds must be thinking. We're in a society where we have to work to live in a comfortable setting. And you know, my partner's had to work a lot harder for us to have our comfort still, you know. We've got great people around us, lucky for us. Very lucky. I'm very lucky no matter what hardships I've gone through. But I know there's a lot of people who are not. I know so many people have lost their houses through this, who are homeless. And they got kids, you know, there's people with kids who are homeless. No one's realizing that. No one's talking about it. I don't get why they're not talking about it. It's a big issue.
Do you get a lot of letters from people still? A lot of emails and texts saying?
I get messages, recently it's settled down, but I think it's been mostly for the sake of people understanding that I'm still healing. And, you know, that shows to me what a beautiful community, being understanding like that and stepping back like that. That's honestly, that's my community, that the people who are understanding and respectful to your time, you know, because for me at the moment, I've had to take a lot of time for me and my partner and for me to heal. And I'm still going through that, but I will do whatever I can when I can, because like I've said before, I'm not going to stay silent. I can't. It's just not possible. I might take time in between to heal, but I always find a moment like now to express what's going on and what is going on. And people need to just become aware of that. It's your choice in the end, I guess, to believe it. But I'm not making money right now talking to you.
No way.
Who's making money talking on main media? They are.
Absolutely.
I think that's an important thing to recognize here. I'm doing this for not just myself, but for others. And that's more important than anything. Way more important than anything. I can't express that enough, you know.
When we last talked, there was a lot of shaking in your hands. Still, there's some muscle contraction there, and there's a little bit of the neck contraction.
Yeah.
You were saying you're needing time to heal. Do you feel you're healing bit by little bit, even in spite of the cruelty of bloody stuff and the cruelty of those trolls? If any troll thinks of getting on and insulting Casey, stop it. Stop it. Imagine if you had months of the suffering she's gone through. You should be absolutely ashamed. And Casey, I've had many of them as well, because this government encourages bullying. But some of them, I think, are actually government bullies. And so I just ignore them. I think the government is so brutal that they put bullies on to spread lies and misinformation about all of us who are trying to stand up and tell the truth. So I just decided ignore them. My father had this saying, never explain. Your friends don't need it, and your enemies won't believe you anyway. So just ignore the bullies and your friends who love you, and there are so many of us. Know you are real. Know what you are giving up in terms of your time and reaching out when you could just be thinking of yourself. You and your mum are amazing, what you've given to this community of wounded people. But how are you physically, Case? How are you actually feeling in your body now?
It's a lot. Still in a lot of pain. My legs have always stayed the same with pain, so it's always been 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 on the level of pain for my legs.
Give people an idea of what that is, so these ghastly government trolls will stop. Give us an idea of what that feels like.
Think of having a knife going down your thigh 24/7.
Oh my God.
Think about someone nailing wood between each part of your knees, so you can't move your knees. I get stiff knees continuously through this. It's so much pain to just lift my knees. I get stabbing pain, like I have millions of needles or a knife stabbing into my legs every day.
Every day?
Every day. And I've tried so hard to get through that, because I don't think people realize as much as I'm trying to push myself to walk right now, I've come to a point, and it's hard for people, I think, to hear this, but I've come to a point to kind of get used to the pain. And there should never be a time when someone has to get used to pain, you know? Like, that's with any type of pain.
Especially not when it's being forced on you, from something forced on you by a bully, by a bully government.
I can't even, I'm trying to, just thinking about it, that, you know, I'm feeling it right now, but thinking about all the stuff I've been through, it's...
In bed at night, is it like that?
Sometimes. I will think about, what did I do wrong for the system to treat me and so many others like me this way? You know, I do question. I'm only a girl who's been hurt without the information as to why. You know, I've got amazing people around me, though. I really do. I'm starting to find the people who really are going to be there for me.
Your true friends.
Yeah, true family, true people who are really concerned, who truly are concerned, and will look at it as it is, rather than deny. You know, deny what's been happening, deny what has happened to you. So I've got a great GP right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you want to say the name?
I can't.
Okay.
By respect for him.
Yeah.
Because I always respect people's private information. Yeah. So that's just me, though. I respect that.
Thank God you found a good GP, because you had so many doctors in hospitals who did not honour you, and they will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. I hope that haunts them. Yeah. I went through, gosh, how many now? It was 8 or 9 different GPs before I found this one. And what were most of them like, Casey? Didn't know what to do, or just didn't want to look at it the way it is. Did any of them deny it was the jab? Yeah. What would they say? There was one of the first ones said, walk it off. Oh my gosh. Gave me medicine that
burnt, like it was something to calm me. It was supposed to calm me, but it burnt my nose. And he was very off, like really cut off. Like
emotionally disconnected.
It's okay to be professional about certain things, but at the same time to be unaware of what's happening to someone when you're a doctor that's trying to help and care for someone. You know, it's in the job description, you're caring for a patient. If you can't connect to that, what are you doing? You know, you've got to be able to have some sort of connect, even with a professional stance about it.
Absolutely.
So
to be connected to the shared humanity of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like empathetic, you know.
God, you found a good doctor now.
Yeah.
I was asking before about bed. Are you getting that pain all night in bed as well, down your legs?
Yeah.
Casey,
What
do you take for it? How do you manage it?
A lot of just resting, honestly. Yeah.
Are you taking painkillers as well?
I've had to, quite a bit of Panadol in the past, a lot of ibuprofen, but it's come to a point where I'm kind of too used to, my body's too used to the stuff, so it doesn't work as great anymore. It's...
What about the rest of your body, Casey?
So I was recently diagnosed, and this is the last time I went to the hospital, more recent. I had a fall. I had blacked out, and I'd hit my head pretty bad on something I don't know. I can't remember.
You blacked out?
Oh, I blacked out, yeah. And
does that still happen a lot?
Yep.
You're just suddenly not there?
Yeah, I'm just gone. I've collapsed.
We saw that in the last video where Stefan had to just gently bring you back.
Yeah. So that we found out I have severe migraines now, which I've never had before.
Oh, Casey.
So that was hard because I've had a lot of, and will be all in the doctor's notes, of pressure in my head, of getting continuous just like pain in my head and not knowing what it was. And the doctor, the good GP I have now, gave me migraine medication, which when I'm quick to take it, it helps. So that's how they knew it was definitely severe migraines. But sometimes when I'm not quick to the medication, I just go. And that scares me. That's been very scary.
How long will you black out for?
Honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell because I'm so out of it. I think Steph said something like, you're out of it for quite a while, so a few hours, 2 hours maybe.
Hours?
Yeah. I've been, the one I had to go to the hospital, I was out for quite a while. So yeah, that was scary for a lot of people because they were wondering if I was having a seizure or something. And we're still wondering about those like micro seizures. So yeah, I still have to get looked into with things like that, and I will continue to look. I think people are not realizing this. For a diagnosis, it can take years, like months to years, to get a proper diagnosis.
Why is that? Why are they so slow?
Because, and this is with anything really, I think we are very short in supply for doctors who are willing to look deep into something, right? To look beyond the textbooks.
They just want a quick,
superficial
explanation? Yeah.
They're a very textbook way of like doing things, but science is so expansive, so it doesn't make sense for going forward, because isn't science you're continuously exploring and finding new things?
The term settled science should never be accepted by anyone. Science should be evolving all the time.
I agree.
I've heard about doctors who themselves are jab injured, Casey, and apparently they're still advocating for the jab. And what they're saying to people is, oh, well, it could be worse if we've got COVID. And they've had to have a month or so off. So some of these doctors are not able to think outside the box. There's something wrong. I think we have to teach critical thinking in this country.
Don't be ashamed to have your own thoughts and beliefs.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? To question things is quite human, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's healthy.
Normal. Yeah. I mean, if you're continuously prepared to just destroy your own, thoughts, and wonderment is destroying a part of yourself, your instincts. We're instinctive, and I think that's such a big thing that's being affected in us today. We're just blocking those off.
Yeah.
Things that should be developing more in us and should be catered to. We shouldn't be blocking those.
That beautiful gut instinct, that inner knowing, that trusting the self and not giving our power away to others.
Yes.
What about your heart and then your hands? What's going on there?
So what I found recently is my resting heartbeat now is always at 90, whereas before the vax it was at 70.
Yeah.
So my heart has been affected in some way, and we'll have to look into it more. My hands, what the specialist I'm talking to now are looking into, and even my GP who said it in his own terms, is that the vaccine for many has gone into the blood, into the vein. For me, definitely, because I've had signs of this, which is the worst case scenario to happen, for it to go into the blood. What he said is the spike proteins and everything that's doing the damage to you in your bloodstream, it went into my blood-brain barrier and it affected the cerebellum, which controls the fight and flight, the movement, and everything. So, and I've had recent tests where I've had to do all sorts of things to try and figure out what's gone wrong with my, with the brain damage that's been done. And it is brain damage. I've been told now, definitely, by the looks of things, you have brain damage. And, I've been thinking, wondering, hoping it isn't. But to be told that by a specialist was okay. It was hard. It was very hard.
Very hard.
But yeah, what they're saying is my fight and flight mode's been tampered with. Very much so, and yeah.
Because I can see possibly brain damage in the parts that link to the legs and hands, the motor.
Yeah.
The motor parts of you.
So they said something about the cerebellum and the ganglia and something else around here. I can't remember the term. Yeah, around here. And I've been having pressure in the back of my head here throughout this.
I remember you had that terrible heat. It would get really hot, wouldn't it? And Stefan had to put cold packs on. Is that still happening?
Not as bad as anymore, but I still get the pressure and the pain.
The pain at the back of it. And that's that limbic part of the brain that where fight or flight comes.
That's where the cerebellum is.
Yeah.
And it connects to all the nervous system. Everything connects, and anything big like that gets affected or damaged in any way can cause more things to happen. And that's what we believe me and other people are being affected.
You look so calm as you talk about all of this. What are your days like, Casey? Do they differ every day? Are some...
Yeah.
Have you been dealing with depression with it all?
Yeah. I've dealt with it a lot better than perhaps many have, but I have a lot of love around me, and I've had to learn how to deal with trauma in other ways than other people, and that's helped me through it as well.
You're so powerful.
Oh, no,
you're so powerful inside you. What ways
helps.
Are you dealing with that? What can you say to others who are feeling overwhelmed? How do you get through these mountains that you climb every day?
Realize you're climbing the mountain not alone. Not alone. I think a big thing for us right now who are being really affected, you need to realize you're not alone, and don't be afraid to take that hand of help. And overall, you're not a burden.
Absolutely not.
I think that was the hardest. It was the hardest thing for me, because I felt such a burden. So much has been taken away, not just from me, but my partner. And it's not just me. It's to deal with that. it's always like, for me personally, it's up and down. I can't say for how everyone else is reacting, but I know that feeling that you feel when you think things are hopeless. But when you're in that, I guess, that cloud, that dark cloud of hopelessness, you got to look for those rays of light, which usually can be your own strengths, because it's always going to be you in the end that takes you out of that dark place. Always. You'll have help. You'll always have help if you have loved ones around you, or seek friends. Seek a community who are willing to have that hand to you if you don't have family and friends helping you right now, because there is a community out there right now. And as much as you can feel alone, feel like, society's against you or the system's against you, I think it's so, so important to realize it's not everyone. And I've learnt that, like, as much as there's so many people who don't understand what I'm going through, it's because they've not experienced what I've experienced. They're not feeling what I'm feeling. They can't understand it on the level I understand it, or how others understand it. And I get that. I respect that you have not experienced what I've experienced, but you must respect that I've experienced this. And no, just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean it hasn't happened. It's so powerful to know. I think I look at it everything now that I see people being affected. You got to have that in your head. Just because it's not happened to you and you don't know much about it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But yeah, I feel quite powerful on that one, because it's such a big thing. Depression's not something that we should just look away from. There's too much suicide happening these days, and it's a lot to do with people feeling alone and feeling like they're a burden and feeling like life is too hard. And we have so much strength in us that we don't recognize. And from my experience through all this, I didn't realize how strong I am as a person until I had to go through all this hardship in my life. And this is not just for the vaccine injuries and everything else that I've experienced. I've experienced so much in my life that's brought me to this point, and I've lost so much. I've lost friends, I've lost family, and that's just by choice of theirs or whatever. We're going down different paths. And, I'll still send my love to those people, because no matter how different paths we're going down, we should always try to understand and respect it and love each other. And it's so hard. So, trust me, I would go the ups and downs. It's like, oh, I can't contemplate that, but I have to understand people. Even if they hurt me, I have to understand why. That's why I can't. People think I hate Jacinda. I don't know her personally to say that. I hate what she's done. I've said this before. I hate what she's done to people. Her decisions I do hate. I'm frustrated at her. But I can't hate her because I don't know her. I have to know you on a personal level to really feel that. But I guess that's where we all go wrong. We're so quick to hate and to distrust and to feel like the easy way is the best way. I've had to walk through fire. Hellfire. I've had to walk, and this is metaphorical, but I have to go through a lot of stuff, a lot of metaphorical hellfire to get to where I am now. And I still am. And I'm okay with that. I think a lot of people are still going through that. And we will continue to do that. We will. And I'm not ashamed to talk. I'm not afraid to talk. I think a lot of people are expecting me to go silent all of a sudden and just say nothing because, what they believe. But I am just saying what I've experienced and what's true. And that's all I can do. So what more do you want from me to those people? I can't give you anything you want. All I can give you is my experience and my love to you, no matter what you believe, my love to you. I do respect people's differences. I think that's what makes us beautiful. We're all different. No matter how different our ideals, our religions, our belief, or anything really, it's just that's what I feel like everyone should look at each other like. Like, we should just look at it, okay, you have a different belief than me. That's okay. That's beautiful. That's what makes you you. Because I hear people talk about their beliefs. I hear them talk about their faith and what they think is true and not true. And I'm like, look at you shining. What's bad about that? You know, what's bad about shining is you. But the thing is, what we do wrong is we can't respect everyone else shining in their own way. And we get so angry at each other because we feel like we have to express ourselves more, or get angry that people aren't saying the correct thing to us. But we shouldn't have to get angry at those people. We shouldn't have to get angry at each other. All we need to do is say, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And if you can't take it, that's okay. I'll carry on. Because there'll be people in your life, they'll come to you and they will respect you. I know that now. I'm learning that daily. But yeah, I'm going to get through, definitely. No matter the pain, no matter the pain. I have so much love for myself, even as hard as it can be sometimes. I still have that. And I'm going to carry on. I'm going to keep going and respect people and try to be understanding. And if we can't align, it's okay. I'll carry on. You carry on. We don't need to give each other hate to feel like we've won. Because what is this? It's not a game. You want to make it a game, but it's not a game. This is life. We're all living it. It's all hard. And we've got to understand that. That's how I feel right now.
Casey, you are such a gift. You are, no, seriously, do you know you're such a gift?
I think you're the gift, honestly. To this country. Honestly, you, like I told you on the message, you're holding this torch right now in your hand that many of us who are struggling to keep up physically, you're the one who's holding this torch right now for us, physically able to walk for us. You are our legs. You are our hands. And that's, I know it might be hard to hear that. Trust me, I know the pressures of feeling like you want to do more and you can't. So don't ever feel like if you can't do a thing that it's not enough. Doing a little is enough. And that's what I want to know. Like, the rest of them should know that too. What little things you can do is enough. Don't be ashamed to put a post.
That's beautiful. Say that down the camera to anybody who's feeling suicidal, desperate, alone, wounded, confused. Just say that.
You are enough. Don't be afraid to put things out, no matter the hate that may come, because the love will always conquer. It will always come to look at that more than the hate. I know it's hard, trust me. I had to work through it quite a lot. But there will be people who will see the beauty in you. There will be people who will be able to be like, I see you shining and I love it and I see it. I'm not gonna discount you. Others won't, but that's because they're not part of your journey. They don't understand you. Leave them behind. Walk with those who will walk with you. And this is why I had someone so beautiful like Liz helping me right now. She's willing to walk through this journey with me. And, that's such a big thing because so many aren't. So many aren't.
Let's bring in your beautiful Stefan. So many people saw Stefan's love in that first interview.
Yeah.
And he has been, you said to me, these are your words, he's been my rock.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many people who would stick by someone with what I've gone through. He's my weak spot. He really is. He's sacrificed so much for me. He's loved me unconditionally. He's been side by side on my journey, feeling everything I'm feeling. I know. We go through the cracks and the falls, and he's still by me standing tall and strong, that's anyone would wish and pray for such a person to be their partner. And, I see him, how he struggles sometimes, and I wish I could be more for him. I was working through that quite a bit. I know a lot of people are working through that with their partner right now. But know that no matter what, if they love you, truly love you, they're going to stand by you. No matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you feel like you don't have the strength to do something simple, like, make a cup of tea or do the bed, and I've struggled so much with all of that. And he's been just compensating for my inability to do what I used to be able to do. And he is the true compensation, because he is the love that I need in my life. That's why money in the end just doesn't matter, because I got something way more better than that. I've got love. I got someone who's standing by me, and I got so many other people around me doing the same. That's worth more than gold. Way more. And trust me, if you went through what I went through, you would understand that. When you lose the money, you see what truly matters.
Yeah.
100%.
Casey, and then let's talk about your beautiful mama, your mama there, Anna, who hasn't just been looking after you, incredibly helping and supporting. She has been helping so many other jab injured.
She's, again, another person who's compensating so much for me. And she's doing her own journey as well. And it's amazing seeing her do what she needs to do for herself, as well as my sisters, as well as many others who need help. That's a hard feat to do. I respect her highly for continuing to do that and to doing it for others. That's the important part of this, doing it for others. Yeah. And I 100% believe that. You have to do that for others, because as a community, you can be a little bit selfish. That's human. You got to do things for yourself as well to help you, so you have your glass filled, so you can fill others' glasses. But always recognize when someone is in need and you can help. That's important. Even if you have to half a nickel, give them half. That's just what you got to do, So,
and that's what she does many times. If I've been working late, Anna will be up late, 1, 2 in the morning, and she'll be taking calls and she'll be helping people.
Many late nights.
Many late nights. What she is giving. And this has been this marathon for both of you women. Yeah. Your father is not here with us on the earth, but how proud he must be of all his girls, of your sisters, of your mum, of you, Casey. Do you feel him? Do you feel his presence? Do you feel his support?
Always. It's such a hard, thing to think on. But I know he'll be proud of his girls. I know he'll be proud of them, because they're so beautiful and they're continuing to grow into beautiful, beautiful people. And I'm so proud of them.
These are your 3 sisters?
Yeah.
And do you feel his support for you?
Oh, no doubt. I no doubt feel that. I mean, for me, I'm always more wondering of how he feels for others, like my sisters. I'm the big sister, so that's where my thoughts usually go to. Of course, I hope he is, and I really, really want that to be the case, because I'm trying to do all I can in this life to be a good person and be the person he showed me in the end of his life to be. Someone who's can see all the wrong you do, but can show that, what, I'm so sorry. I recognize the wrongdoings I do. I think that was a big lesson he gave me. Recognition for your own wrongdoings. And so anytime I feel like I've done something wrong, I have to really be self-aware of that. And he gave me that lesson, He really helped me to recognize my own wrongdoings and to, fix that and to work on myself. And not do it on a time where you're not going to be gone, in the next day.
Can you tell us a bit more about that, Casey? Could you share that? What, on his deathbed, did he talk really honestly about that?
Not on his deathbed. His deathbed, he was pretty out of it. Before that, he had a moment with me and all my sisters saying how proud he was of us, and so yeah, he did say he was proud of me then.
Yeah.
And he just, you know, he expresses certain things about to really. He was very humbled at the end of his life by the love he was given, and he would tell us, "Love, you know, the love is so important, and I'm always going to hold on to that. No one can take that away from me.
Yeah.
No one. My father gave that to me in his last moments of life, you know, his last months of life. And so no one can take that away from me. That I will hope always, because I know love is stronger. No matter the frustration you feel in life, you can get through it. The anger, you can get through it. But the one more important thing to hold on to is the love. And it is, because I wouldn't be here today the way I am if I didn't have all the love I have, you know, even for myself, you know, which is still an ongoing thing. And growing the love for myself.
I asked that question not to be nosy, but I'm just so curious about where it's like you're the most beautiful note in our lives, and this note of love that you just have singing right through your life. It has to have come partly from your loving mum, but there has to have been some gift from your father.
It was his last lesson, in a sense, is the biggest lesson he could give me.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think because of how it happened, it stays with me quite a bit. And of course, my mum gave me all the love too. She did.
She's so loving, that woman. Yeah. She's so loving. Yeah. I would love, Casey, at the end of the last piece, we had the song you sang at your father's funeral. You don't have to do this, but I would absolutely love today if you felt like singing that song.
Yeah, definitely.
I think people would love that. And I'd also love to ask you if you'd read some poetry of yours.
Would
you be open to that?
I'm a bit shy about it, but I'll be right.
There's something that's really upset me since you arrived here today. We had to just help you in with one crutch. We've got one crutch here. Yeah. And the first thing I said was, Casey, where's your wheelchair, which you had?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? Because I could not believe you've been struggling on that front as well.
Yeah, so the wheelchair we had was like, it was good to have because we obviously had to buy we had my partner's dad who got it for us. I needed to buy it.
So the government didn't provide that?
No.
After you were jab injured?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was just a cheap, easy wheelchair. We had to grab it like quick because I obviously couldn't walk long distance. So it was like we needed something quick and soon, and we couldn't wait for the government to figure out
whether they'd pay.
Exactly.
It's disgusting, Casey, that they have not paid for a piece of equipment for somebody who's injured because of their jab program. That is disgusting.
Yeah. And
so what happened to it?
It's starting to break now. The wheels popped off a few times now, and the bolts are just very loose. It's a very cheap wheelchair because we can't obviously, afford we have to save up now to get things, and we've been doing savings, but yeah, so we've had to save quite a bit to do everything we're doing, and that's okay.
Why didn't you call me, and we could have, if I'd known that, we would have done an interview. We've kept in touch with messages, and I'd always say, how are you? But you never let me know. And I would have done a video that day
I realized,
to say.
The thing is, I realize that others are suffering. It's not just me. So I can't let myself be the one that's always in the limelight here, it's not about me, it's about everyone. I can't, I don't really need to, I still got my partner just helping me, and it's been hard for him. I think that's the reason I'm talking now about it, because I'm, it's hurting me seeing him hurt and struggle.
So I would really... really ask for Kiwis to donate money to the account that we're putting at the end here. This is my idea. This has not come from Casey. I would really ask that we support them financially while this government that is so mean with money, we need to get as many people as possible writing into the government, and we'll put an address at the end. We'll put all the politicians, and please say you must push for C M Hodgkinson to have financial help, to have full ACC payout, to have compassion and kindness in the form of money that will help this couple and take the pressure off. It is so cruel what they've done.
I'm hoping others can come forward so they can get the help too. Because it's not just me who needs like financial help, there's others, so many others, you know, like I've got lists, I've got thousands of people. It's like thousands of people. My mum's got the list, you know, like that's why I kind of put myself back a little, because I'm like, I don't need to like just be the only one that's getting catered to right now. There's other people who need help. And I realized that, and you know, it's all right. I'm quite all right stepping back and letting others get the help they need, because that's important more than anything. I can go through hell. I've experienced hell, but I know a lot of people can't handle hell.
Casey, I was helping you. Your mum was under one arm, I was under the other coming in. And we had to stop because that short walk was so painful for you.
Yeah.
That, I tell you, I felt that like a dagger in my own heart. That it's just so not right that this government is allowing you to suffer. If Jacinda Ardern ever suffers like this, may she remember this interview. I know she will see it, and may she remember this interview and think, I should have stepped up and helped these thousands of injured people because I demanded they be jabbed and I never helped them.
Yeah. I just remembered a dream I had recently about this whole situation with Jacinda, and I was in my wheelchair and there was groups of people sitting down and there's a podium and Jacinda was on the podium with all the others. And then I was in the wheelchair wheeling myself up to the podium and said, look what's happened to me. Look what you've let happen. And I was confronting her in this dream. And she looked at me horrified. I always wondered what like her reaction would be if I ever met her face to face. In my dream, she was horrified. She didn't know what to say. She just was shocked. She was in shock. Statue-like, just didn't know what to do. It was kind of, that's how she looked and how it felt. And I had a group of people come from that group of people that all of them, like, it was like they were cattle-like, they all moved in the same way. And then all these group of people came towards me and they left that to come be with me. And I was frustrated at just not understanding why she wasn't doing anything or saying anything. And they moved me away from her. And that's pretty much the dream. It was a very vivid dream. I woke up thinking that happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I see seizures? But yeah, I'll never forget that dream. It was recent actually, I had that dream.
When we last came, you and your mum both asked her on the camera to come and meet you. And since then, Stephen G., whom we interviewed the other day, told me in December he wrote to every politician asking each one to come and meet you face to face. When I would go on posts about you or some of our posts and there were trolls and they were saying she's lying, I would go, meet me and come and meet her. Yeah. And I remember some of them going, I'm so sorry that I said those awful things about Casey. Oh. Because anybody who sat in front of you could not maintain that cruelty. Even Jacinda Ardern, I believe. Do you have a message for her, Casey? Is there any other message that you would like to say to this woman who has steadfastly refused to meet you, to move heaven and earth to compensate you, to help you, to talk about you, to show you kindness, and you being the representative of the thousands of other jab injured that she ignores? Do you have a message down that camera?
Yeah. I honestly believe my dream was trying to express that one day you will be faced with the truth, the hard truth. There'll be more that will follow suit as I have, and realize that just doing as you say and doing what the fear makes them feel like they must do, they will walk away from that. I do see that. Be prepared for that. Be prepared for that, because the truth, you can't hide it. You can't run away from it forever. I mean, I've tried so hard to feel like everything's going to be all right. Your way of leading right now is not helping. It's not helping. It's hurting thousands of people, the people you promised to help. I've said many times now, we're just hurting people. We're people who have done as you said. We are people who tried to stand in line and then had our back stabbed. We're not telling you to do anything. We're telling you to help. We're telling you to do as your duty entitles you to do, which is to be there for all New Zealanders, no matter the narrative, no matter the different ideals, no matter the different beliefs. You're supposed to be there for people who are hurt and hurting. You're supposed to let go of things and be the leader that you promised you would be. I would love to meet you. Yeah, I would. I would love to meet you, Jacinda. And we could sit down and have a tea. I would be very happy to do that. I'm not going to be mad. I will be trying to be as understanding as I can towards you, as long as you're prepared to hear everything. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. If you experience what I experienced, you would understand that. But what you could do as a leader and to help many is to meet us. Don't be afraid. I don't know why you're letting fear be such a control for yourself even. What are you losing by facing us and helping us? That's my question. What are you losing? Because you're obviously afraid of something. Time to shed the fear and let the truth be faced. I'm not afraid. Let yourself not be afraid now.
Wow, Casey.
Yeah, it's a bit from the heart. I do feel that quite a bit.
There's one more thing. When we came to your house before, I worried about those stairs.
Yeah.
And for months now, you've had to try to make your way up and down these stairs to your bedroom.
Yeah.
And you've got this terrible pain in your legs. I'm going to step forward, Casey, and ask that somebody who has a place for Casey and Stefan and their flatmate to be able to live, that's single story, a nice place that might be worth a bit more to you, but if you could step forward and give them a much lower rent right now while they are in such trouble, I promise you that will come back to you in other ways that are miraculous. You will get far more from helping them than you will ever get from getting that last cent of rent. But please, in the Greenhithe area, do you mind my asking on your behalf like this, Casey?
I really respect you for doing that for me. I hope I can help others who need a house as well one day, to just express how many people need help right now with rates going up. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
You must be in a single story place. You must, for your injuries. So what sorts of areas of Auckland are you looking to live in, to be around near?
North Shore, like Albany and Greenhithe at the moment.
Albany, Greenhithe, if you've got a place that's single story, that has at least 3 rooms, and that is a nice place, that is a place where Casey could heal, and you have a heart and you think, maybe right now, maybe for a year or so, I'm just going to give them a really low rent and help them to come in. I promise you, as money comes in other ways for us, we'll find ways to repay you, to acknowledge you, to highlight you, if that is what would do it. But please help. I just want to see Casey in a single story place, not going up a long staircase to her room and not having to pay a huge rent, which puts such pressure on Stefan when he's trying to keep them. I'm just praying for a miracle, and I know there are so many good Kiwis who will help. I just know it. Casey, I hope you don't mind me stepping forward like that, but I just feel that's the right thing.
Is
there anything else that you would like to say to Kiwis who've helped you so far? And I know a lot more will put money in that account to keep you going now.
I honestly, I don't expect the money. I'm grateful for what you're doing. I just want to get to a place, and I will fight to get to a place where I can help others as well. Like, that's such a big thing for me right now, to get to a good place. You know, money is just money, and I wish I had the money to give to others right now, because if I did, I would. So that's my goal. You know, it's one of my biggest goals, to get me and my partner on our feet and to, you know, help others who need it. You know, you can take $1 to help someone. And I feel like if I could get to a place where I'm able to do that for someone one day, I could be very happy, because it's, you know, I'm happy, but I could be just so at peace with that, you know, because when you have something to give, it's great. And, you know, I give as much as I can, even with nothing, but it is stressful when you don't have much to give and you wish you could.
This is going to be your last sort of public-facing job for a while, isn't it?
Yes.
You're going to pull back in. Let's finish on that note.
Yep.
What if people don't see you around for a little while? What are you planning, Casey? What are you needing?
I'm just going to take time to heal. I got good doctors now listening, so my next steps are with them, definitely, to get me the right treatment and the right physio and everything, so I can become stronger. And when I'm stronger, I'll be coming back. I will come back in a way that will be able to suit whatever is my life at the time. And that's all I can give. I can't promise anything, but I can say that I will try my best to get to a good point and to be able to, you know, not worry about the flares going to start up just because I've gone out, or, you know, I have to be very mindful of what's happened to me. And I'm just going to work on myself so I can work for others. And that's my next step. It's a big step for me right now. And yeah, I'm going to focus heavily on that right now.
I'm so glad you're doing that, Casey. Just remind people of your age. How old are you now?
I'm 23, nearly 24.
You have spoken in this interview with the wisdom of someone 3-4 times your age. You will have touched so many Kiwis, Casey, and I just can't thank you enough for that.
Oh, I can't thank you enough.
And you're loved, and we support you.
Thank you.
And if you ever need anything, I am there, and many of us are there.
Definitely.
I really love you. I really love you. Thank you, Casey.
You're definitely not going to lose me out of your life. I know that. Whatever you need, I'll definitely be there for you as much as I can. So I really appreciate what you've done.
Let's finish the way we did in the other interview, the big hug.
I've been giving that big hug in so long. Thank you. You've done so much for me. You really have. You've done so much for me.
My God, half of that I was just trying to wipe my nose, which was pouring. It was absolute. I was about to do this because I couldn't get it under control.
You're right.
You were so powerful.
I always do that. I haven't sung in front of people in a while, so sorry if I'm
beautiful. We're just family. That's all.
What's left to say is present working anymore. Everyone shut down in flames. What's left to do with these broken pieces on the floor? I'm losing my voice, calling you. 'Cause I've been shaking, I've been bending backwards to watching